Wait, that's good. All right, sweet ass. All right. What's up, party people?
Hello, hello.
It's been a minute. It's been a while, since we posted a podcast, but we have been planning. I've been thinking of different things, and one of those things is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
And with me, I have my friend, Adinda. So,
Hello.
this is Adinda. So we serve in youth together.
Yeah.
And tell them a little bit about yourself, like about your journey this year.
Okay, sure. So hi guys, my name's Adinda. You can just call me Dinda. I feel like Adinda is too formal.
I had to say it like that, so that's your full name first, and then nicknames come later, right?
Yeah. So I just actually moved to Perth this February. Yeah, this February I just moved to Perth, and I'm currently studying at Curtin. And yeah, what else do you want to know? I think.
Okay. Well, let's get to know you a bit better, so that everyone that hasn't seen you before can feel a little bit like, oh, she's a real person, all right? So how about, I guess, like, what's something about yourself that you're trying to improve?
Oh, that's a good question. Something about myself that I'm trying to improve is to actually telling people or like better at communicating what I need to my close friends.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Communication, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important, especially like if you can't communicate with your friends, how can you communicate that with your future spouse kind of thing, right?
Yep.
I get that. That's cool. I like that. For myself, it would be being okay with the pauses and the silences. You know, I'm trying to get rid of the ums and the I don't know what else that I don't knows and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like fillers.
Yeah, the fillers. I'm trying to get rid of those. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But hopefully
That's
in this
good.
podcast today, I wouldn't have to cut them out because I normally do that. When it gets really annoying, I cut them out. But today's topic, well, actually, it's so broad to a point that I wanted to make this more of a series. So we won't like talk about everything we can possibly talk about this topic of singleness today, but it'll be spread out across like the months.
Yeah.
Just because it develops.
It's a big topic.
It is. And like there's lots of different perspectives as well. And like ourselves we're learning as well. So actually I remember the actual real question I wanted to ask you, Dinda, was 5 years ago, looking at your life now, like is this where you wanted to be? Especially romantically.
Romantically?
Or like even when you're a teenager, like is this where you saw yourself?
Honestly, like not really. Because I think like 5 years ago, like 6 years ago, I would thought that by 27, so context, I'm 27 years old, I would actually already be in a serious relationship at least. Mm-hmm. Not like, it doesn't have to be like a marriage, but serious relationship and like going somewhere kind of thing. How about you?
Yeah, I would like to say like pretty much the same. I'm turning 27 in a couple weeks. But like, you know when you're a teen and like you're
Don't forget, guys.
They're like, oh, what age do you want to get married at? And you're like, oh, 27 sounds like a nice age. But then now that I'm here, I'm like, well, honestly, I feel like there's more time. It's okay to be a bit more single rather than cooped up, you know, because the thing is, the rest of your life.
Not that it's like, I mean, it's okay to like, if like any one of you is already married by 27, like I think.
Oh yeah, no.
Everyone's journey is different.
Exactly, time is relative. Okay, it's wherever you're at in your life. It's not like everyone has to fit the mold. Okay, so segueing into what we want to talk about in regards to singleness is actually a few of the questions that because I put up like some questions on the Instagram like. Any questions about singleness? I think that's what I wrote. Whatever.
Yeah.
So we have some questions, which is actually on my phone, which is actually recording this right now. So
I can get them.
Yeah. Okay. So Adinda will grab them on her phone because I sent them to her because you gotta get them ready before they come. You know, prime them, get them ready so that they don't come in not knowing what's going on. All right.
Okay. Which question you want to start?
I think we'll start with something light. If you can find something light. By the way, as well. I appreciate your questions. I appreciate your questions. And not all your questions will be answered today because like we said, we want to spread this out. Okay. So let's go with this one. You can choose. You can choose whichever you want to start with.
Which one is to like This one.
You want to start with that one?
I don't know if that's like. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not that one. Maybe not that one.
You choose.
Okay, you know what? Most of these can be answered in another question that we were thinking about discussing today. So we're just going to go into that. But I have a question. Okay. So we'll start with mine. Okay, so the question is, when you meet someone, right? Or like you know someone, like kind of like maybe a coworker, and they ask you, "Oh, Dinda," like you talk about like, "Oh, like how's your weekend?" You know, like small talk, right? Like what you do, and they're like, "Oh, like Dinda, do you have a boyfriend or do you have a partner?" Like, do they ask you that? Like, because I get asked that like all the time, and like when I say no, I'm still single, it's kind of like I feel this.
Yeah. The PT silence.
Yeah, like it's a bit like, oh,
yeah.
oh, that's too bad, buddy. Don't you get one? Like it's like that's not
that
like my
lot.
goal in life, you know. It's not my only goal in life. So I don't get triggered by it, but I feel like, oh, like that kind of reaction is like, I don't want people to, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So for you, like, would you say the same? Like you feel like?
Yeah, I feel that, and especially like for me, because I just moved to Perth like in February, right? So when I was working back in Jakarta, they would like joke about it, like, oh, like, when are you gonna have a boyfriend? It's like half joke, but it's kind of like sometimes it's serious, kind of like, oh, like, why are you still single? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. like, so I would get that. Yeah.
I guess it is a common conversation starter thing as well. To like, that's kind of like the next level from how's your day. It's kind of like get to know about this person's life a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said before, like the goal is like there's other goals in life. There's more things to achieve rather than just a romantic relationship. But in saying that, it's not like it isn't a goal. At the end of the day, I do want to be married and I do want to have kids, right?
But it's not everything that is going on in our lives.
Yeah. But like it's just about focusing what's in front of you right now and just doing that the best you can and not looking past that.
Yeah.
Because when you rush things, it's like, you know, we're not looking to rush. I wouldn't say I am. I wouldn't say you are either. You're just enjoying the journey, learning more about yourself, getting better every day. So like think about it. You have all this time to improve yourself so that when you're in that relationship, when that time comes, you'll be your best self pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how I see it. And I'm just going to say that. I don't want to get overly passionate, but I just wanted to address that because I feel like it's very common. And I feel like if people like yourself, if you're single and you're listening and watching and you feel this as well, like those are my words. All right. So anyways, anything to add, Adinda? I mean,
Not now.
Dinda, sorry, too formal. I'm too formal.
Not now.
All right, so how about we just go into this question then?
Yeah.
I think the one that you liked was it what things make it easy to be content in singleness?
Yeah. But that's kind of already quite deep though, I think.
Why not? Let's just go.
I mean, let's just go.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the person that recommended this page called Intrigue 0805. I think your name's Jane Kim. Just shout out, you know, because, if you're wondering, these questions sound familiar. It's because I got them from you. All right. Anyways,
I start first?
Yes, go ahead.
I feel like, honestly, for me, it's when you understand, like, that a relationship doesn't fix you or, like, your life. Because I think, for me, like, this is talking from my personal experience, because it's not like my journey into like this singleness is all like good, you know what I mean? Like I did fail, like, and fell a few times, you know, like it's not like a perfect journey altogether. But one of the things that I've learned is like, if you are not content with yourself first, it's going to be hard to just actually be content in your singleness and to actually see ourselves the way God sees us. I think like, you know how like in video games there's this like bar, like power bar, and then
like
every time
okay,
and I feel like sometimes we have that for like attention or like validation. And I think like sometimes like in my personal experience, like I would actually make someone like to fill that bar. But it's like, you know, it's always like, like I don't know how to like really explain it, but it's not the way to actually see your worth,
right?
You know, and I think once you understand that, once you know that, things get easier, like to actually see like life and singleness from a different perspective, I guess.
So it's like like not getting validation from an external thing,
Yeah.
but more find it internally.
Yeah,
Right.
something like
Yeah,
that. So,
I mean,
like,
that's
yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
yeah, because I do realize how like it's very easy to sometimes maybe it's subconscious as well. Like we do like the attention from someone, someone gives you attention and like praises, like compliments, and you feel like, oh, like I'm actually loved by this person. And like in my past, like I don't know, like experiences, I would settle for that because that was usually when I feel like I couldn't see myself the way I should see myself. So yeah, that's one of the things I think.
Okay.
So once I pass that, I feel like singleness becomes easier.
Right.
Yeah.
So for yourself, because you mentioned just then that you didn't see that worth in yourself, how did you build yourself to where you are today?
Oh, that's good. I think there's a lot of things, really. Actually celebrating like not only like my own strength, but to also make peace with like my weaknesses. So now I kind of just embrace, as in like I learn to celebrate myself and like where I'm at and like in the season that I'm at, like in a place where I'm like placed in. I try to like see the beauty in it, and I think like it helps me in a way, I think. And I don't know, like there's a lot. I mean, one of the things is definitely community. I feel like when I am not in the right community, or like when the time I actually isolated myself, that's when it's very hard to see like my own worth. Or like when I was struggling in life, and sometimes like I don't know if you guys have experiences before when you kind of just like tune out other people and just be comfortable in your own cave. I had that, and yeah, that's when I feel like things get messy and you don't really see yourself the way you're supposed to see it, like how God sees us. That's
Right.
when it's like hard. Yeah.
So like, wait, I don't know if I missed it, but practically, how would you tell someone that's going through something similar? What would be your like one piece of advice to them?
Get to know yourself better. And like, yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, get to know yourself better, but
Yeah.
like,
Get to
but how do I do that?
I feel like there's a lot of ways we can do that. I think spending time or doing things like by yourself is one thing. Like actually, like for me, like doing things alone, like just I don't know, like going out alone, or like I actually think that personality types or like love language, these kind of tools also play a role. Like you get to know like how you actually feel loved the most, and what kind of person are you when you're like healthy or unhealthy, so that you got to know yourself better. And I think like it is important before you actually enter a relationship, so
100%.
then you can communicate what you're actually feeling, where you feel like, because sometimes it's very hard to translate emotional stuff to words. And I think, yeah, having these tools actually help us a lot.
100%. Because when you do go into a relationship,
Yeah.
I guess you can understand why you have responded or reacted in a certain way.
Yeah.
Because in that time by yourself, you were able to realize, oh, this is my tendency when I do this and that.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that you journal and you like journaling.
Yeah, I like journaling, correct.
Which is also another great tool you can use to, I guess, go through your thoughts.
Yeah.
And process things and go back on those things as well. And also to see where you were a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then that also will give you that nice internal value and validation, so to speak, but coming from a more healthier
way.
Yes, not from something else or someone else.
Yeah,
like you were saying, like it's not healthy, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So that's good. That's a good answer. So that's how you remain content in your singleness.
Kind of, because I think like, I always try to think like in every season, like there's always something that I can learn from, not just like things, but also people. So I would usually I like having coffee with people, like dinner with people.
Yeah.
I like having one-on-ones with people, not just like a group setting kind of thing. And I think that's when I really like actually see the beauty in my season. Like there's a lot of things that these people have stories. I love hearing people's stories. I love getting to know them. And I think it's just, I think it's something that for me helped me in my singleness, because like it's not just about us all the time. Like there are things that God wants to do in us, and sometimes we don't know that. And I think sometimes God just used people to do that, like to actually point out and cheer us on, and like
Wow, very cool.
What do you think?
I like it. It's good. It's a good answer. Yeah, and I mean, in saying that, you're still on that journey.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're still learning things along the way.
Yeah.
So more to come, more to share later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your turn.
So my turn. So the
He's gonna laugh.
Her wallpaper's Mr. Miyagi and
Dude,
Daniel LaRusso.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. You watch Cobra
Dude.
Kai?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're getting off topic, but I need you to unlock your phone for me. Thank you very much. Okay, the question was, what things make it easy to be content in singleness? I think I'm along the same lines as where you were coming from. Definitely the same, but I don't know if I'm adding anything new. But I like to think about it that life doesn't really start when you get into a relationship. You know, like things don't start happening or going or moving when you get into a relationship.
Yeah.
Things are well on their way by yourself as they are with someone else.
Yeah.
Like there's so much you can accomplish by yourself as well. Like maybe this is the season where we need to run, and then later on we'll take a more slow pace, more brisk walk, right, with someone else by your side. But it's like what Dinah was sharing just then about like working on her friendships, becoming a better friend, to be able to communicate better with her friends, to be, like all that time invested into other people will minimize if you have a partner, and you won't be able to work on those relationships the same way you are now, say if you were in a relationship.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it, because in my season, I think for myself, I always thought that I was a good friend. I think the only thing that stood out for me was loyalty, right? But on reflection, I feel that there are areas that I do fail as a friend. And like, so in this season, I found that for myself is to become a better friend, because God has blessed me with a community that has shown me that I could be better.
Yeah.
And so,
That's so good.
Yeah, and like I'm learning things as well, because also in this community that I'm in, it's a lot of them are together. Like there's a lot of couples married and have babies. Okay. And so it's an interesting dynamic, because obviously their time is a lot smaller than mine.
Yeah,
in a
it's
way.
just different. Different
It's different
seasons.
because they got to prioritize different things, and like I can't always relate to to what they're talking about, what they're going through. But it's always good to have that perspective and to remember that you're still friends with them individually. I think I had an issue with, I mentioned this before, with seeing a couple as a couple and not as individual people. Like, let's say Nick in year one, like I would just hang out with Nick. Well, actually, I wouldn't even hang out with just Nick. It would just be Nick in year one all the time as a duo.
Yeah.
Like, I never really saw them by themselves, and we never had that individual connection, which like this year I was learning that I got to still have that with my friends as well. If they give the time as well. It goes both ways. It's a dance, we don't dance by ourselves.
It takes two to tango, people.
That's right. So I think another thing practically for me that's helping me be content in my singleness is like just, I guess being faithful with what I have right now and what I can do and the things I have going for me, like this podcast. I enjoy doing it. Yeah. So it's like I put a lot of time into that. I like working out. I like dancing. I like hanging out with friends as well. Yeah. So these kind of things help me, do all that. More filler sounds, dang. But I think
having like a lifestyle that you want to, like, because I think having the perspective that singleness is not a waiting room. It's not like you're waiting for your Amazon package to arrive. Like it's something that there's a lot of things that you can do in it. Like we actually get the privilege to be flexible, like do this in impromptu trips and like do the hobby that you haven't touched before. Like you have put aside something like that. But
that's good. Yeah. I would also like to add on to that before we move into maybe one more question, I reckon. Yeah. Make it nice and light, not too heavy. We'll see where we go. You never know. The conversation can go on. We'll see. But the question again, it goes, when I go back to it, says what makes what things make it easy to be content in singleness. And I don't think it's easy. I think it's easier.
Easier, correct.
But I don't think it makes things easy. You know, that's kind of like, in a way, I don't know.
It's a journey. It's like there's a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes it can feel easy. Sometimes there are times that, let's just put it out there, the struggle is hard. You know, like we can say that because there are struggles, not just from the society, but from other stuff. And like
Absolutely.
It's not always easy. So you're not alone.
Ooh, I like this one, or I like that one.
Yeah, the second one is good, but I feel like
as in this one.
I feel like we can like close it.
Okay, cool. All right. So the next question is, in what ways do you think our culture is shaped to discourage adult singleness? Which is funny because we kind of touched on that just briefly about how I get a bit like, I feel a bit uncomfortable when people ask me that. Not because I'm single, but because of the way that they feel towards me.
Like how they respond.
Yeah, how they respond. It's like
you can
grief.
see it on their face.
It's like, oh, my condolences. It's like,
I'm like, I don't need that pity. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't need that. You know? So yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours, Dinda.
I don't know. I think like, in what ways do you think our culture is shaped to discourage about singleness? I think from my personal experience, it's when like I'm cool with like people trying to like what is it called? Matchmaking? Like when like someone introduced like my friends that say are like, oh, I feel like there's this friend who wants to like get to know you and like maybe like he could be blah blah blah. I'm like, oh cool, like I'm actually not the type of person who's like, nah, like I'm not like that. I'm quite open, to be really honest. But it's when like it's forceful. You know what I mean? Like when I feel like let's say I tell my girlfriend like, oh, I'm not sure, like I had a dinner with him, but I'm not so sure. Like I feel like there are some things that I just don't click with. I mean, obviously, like there's a process, right, to get to know someone. Like it's fine, but there are some things that I kind of also sense in the beginning that I kind of just like, I don't know if I want to have another date kind of thing. But when like someone or like just like people, when I tell this to like my colleagues or like my friends and they're like, oh, maybe you just give him another chance, or like just this energy where I feel like I need to push it, like forcing me. That's when I feel, you know what I mean? Like that's when I feel like, ooh, like why does it feel like it's I need to pushy. Yeah, like I need to like get into something. Like
so this is like
ASAP.
When your friends are pushing you into
something
like
a that
potential relationship.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like Asian families, like it's a common thing to like, you know, in like family gatherings, asking you like, oh, when are you gonna get a boyfriend? I mean,
that is very
it's
common.
always something. Yeah, there's always that question.
Yeah, always. Yeah. I mean, with whatever culture, I feel like it's always there.
Yeah.
Just how it is. I mean, again, it's like a very general conversation kind of topic.
Is there any specific like ways that you want to add?
Well, I mean, like, I guess we can go on the angle of like social media.
Oh,
like all your favorite influencers and what you see on Instagram. Like, I hate going back to like social media. I just sound like a boomer. Like, oh yeah, it's always social media. But that's
where like we spend the time.
Yeah, it's where you spend most of your time.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't lie. That's where I spend most of my time as well. And like all you see is like, I guess these highlight reels, and like I guess it really makes you romanticize the idea of relationship. You're like, oh, it looks so good. Like, and you forget about like all these certain things.
Goals.
Yeah, couple goals and stuff like that. And I guess going back to the question, like, how does it shape our culture to discourage adult singleness? I don't think it's discouraged like directly. Like, it's not very like in your face, like, oh, you can't be alone. But it's like that subtle,
subconscious.
It's like going back to that whole subtle Asian racism kind of thing. It's kind of the same thing where it's just a subtle thing. It's there, but it's like the elephant in the room that people don't talk about. Yeah. Right? So I guess, it comes down to what we're watching. I guess everything that we're consuming, really, what we see on everything. I think that's just what it is, just entertainment, all that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like music.
Music, yeah.
That's a big part. I feel like it's very like, I mean, I have my playlist where it's like not like there's no like lovey-dovey things, but I feel like it's very hard to get a bomb playlist when there's no like love or like the love element in it. You reckon? Like it's
yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, again, artists are just reflecting what goes in their lives.
Yeah.
And again, it's like what we talked about in the previous podcast about, like, I think I brought up that it's like almost like a soul tie. Like, you know, a bit of their life is in yours now, and like you kind of feel it.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe I'm going a little bit further from the question, but
nah, like it's still there. Like, yeah, like movies, TV shows, it's always like there.
Yeah.
So
and it's also like a status quo thing. I just think it's just a progression, the natural progression of life. Go to school, graduate, go to uni, graduate, get a job. What's the next thing?
Yeah.
Find a partner, get married, have kids. That's just there's a normal. And if you step away from that normal, it's like, oh, I hope he's okay. I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because I guess fear of the unknown, people just think, oh, like they just, because like it's very uncertain with where you are. Like, oh, you think that, you know, because he's not following status quo, the mundane.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's where it stems from. It just goes against what we're, I guess, taught from an early age. Like what we see even in like nursery rhymes or like little books in primary school, it's like couples, mum and dad. It's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you know, like.
Agreed.
Yeah, so those are the pressures that we receive from society. But yeah, I don't think it's a very like outspoken thing. It's not like, oh, you can't be single. How dare you be single in my presence, you peasant, kind of thing. But it's more like, like I think it's just an elephant in the room, and that people just don't really address, but they kind of just dance around it. Like, oh.
And it's funny how like sometimes even like people go into the extreme, as in like if you're single, independent, you're kind of just like this bitter person that's just like, you know what I mean? Like there's just this image in the media that.
I mean, okay, well,
like,
I don't think there isn't people like that. Just because I think people just hurt. People get hurt, and then that's what happens. You know, but that's what they see. Yeah, that's all they see, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're right. You bring up a pretty good point, though.
Yeah,
it's true. We're not all like that. I'm actually very happy with where I'm. Do you know what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm actually good. Like,
I'm not bitter.
Chill. I'm chill at the moment.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. I hope we answered the question. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And then you can, I guess, read the last question. And
oh yeah. So the last question is, what should you do or look out for when you are preparing yourself in this season? Oh. That's a good question.
So like,
what should you do or look out for when you are preparing yourself?
So basically, what are you doing in pre-season?
I think so.
Well, think about how I look at it. It's just like sports, you know. Like in your pre-season, you're not doing anything. You're still going to the gym. You're still training. Maybe not as hard as during the season, but you're still training to maintain that fitness level, right? You're still trying to make some gains in certain ways. So I see it like that. We're in pre-season right now. We're just like what I said earlier. It's like we just continue improving yourself, learn more about yourself. You know, be among community, get to know people, friends, so your friends can see your blind spots and you can grow. Yeah, things like that. Just be open to experiences. Yeah, I think really. I don't know what else to say about it. I think for myself, that's really what it is. It's just improving, reading books, going to the gym, being healthy, living healthy. Yeah.
I feel like for me, self-awareness is like, I'm not going to shut up about self-awareness. I feel
that's important.
Yeah, it's such a good underlooked topic that maybe we can have it for another time. But self-awareness, there's so many things and so many things that you can do that I feel like we can do better. As in, okay, let's say for me, right? I didn't know that I used to actually have. So I'm actually someone who like love to like help people and stuff like that. But when it comes to my own needs, sometimes I do have trouble to actually saying it out loud when I need it the most. And that is something that I now have to be more cautious about. Like when I feel like, oh, I'm actually really tired, or like, like just these kind of habits that I feel like we need to be more aware of so that in a relationship we can actually, you know, be a better partner. Like there are some things
100%.
that I think, we can do to make ourselves better. Like maintaining a good lifestyle is for me is already something, you know, like actually enjoying yourself, actually have fun with yourself is something that I feel like, for me, I used to like got a little bit confused when people say, oh, just like, you know, like you should, like when like older, like my mentor or like other people in the community actually tell me like, oh, you should enjoy your singleness. Like, how do you actually enjoy your singleness? Like there are times when I was younger that I'm like, I don't get it, you know? But then I think like as I journey, as I grow older and I see people, I think it's also good when you have role models of like single people who are living their life. I feel like I have that in my life, which makes me like, I think it's one of the things that also makes me feel it's easy to be single as well, to actually have those kind of role models. And yeah, actually one of the things that I've done recently was actually going to a concert alone. It was for Billie Eilish and it was fun, and like just having these kind of experiences with yourself and being
comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, being comfortable with yourself. I think it's very important because you don't want to, at the end of the day, you don't want your partner to be your safe zone 24/7. Because as much as they are a partner, they also have like other stuff to do, other things to do. Like you can't put that expectation on your partner to fill your cup. You know, like the saying of like, you can't pour out from an empty cup. Like you can't love from an empty cup kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that you can do in our singleness season is to actually know how to refill the cup. Like how would you actually be energized? Like what makes you like feel like you can feel rest again, can feel like the joy again and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I feel like it's not that you can't pour out from an empty cup. You can, and I've been there, and it's hard. It was like
because you're trying to like fill it at the same time, but then it keeps getting poured out into the other cup.
I don't want to do that again. But like right now, I'm in the season of like I really learn how to rest, how to pause, how to actually like have a nothing day, like what Jara like usually like say, and then I think that's very important because you don't want to have your partner to do all these things for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, like going into a relationship, there's always going to be something, you know?
Yeah.
It's not always going to be perfect, not sunshine and rainbows. There's always going to be some sort of things you guys got to carry together. But I guess what we're trying to say is like try to be the best that you can so that when you go into it, at least, I mean, it's not like you're trying to find out who you are in this relationship.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah. And we do believe like relationship itself or like marriage is also a journey.
Yeah.
Like you can't know everyone right away, you know, like it's always a journey of like learning to love each other, to, you know, have that vision and going through that journey together. But there are things that I feel like we have, like it's our responsibilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not your partner's responsibilities to like
100%.
know how to fill your cup. It's your responsibility to know, because at the end of the day, it's you who been through stuff and like supposedly know yourself the most kind of thing. Yeah,
this is a great topic. I think just in my mind,
in
my head right now, I'm just thinking of so many other questions, but I feel like we'll just be here forever. But see, the thing is, I kind of want to make more of a like I said, we're going to make this into a more talked about thing over the next few months and cover different angles and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we'll probably see Dinda again and some other guests. I think it'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
If you guys have any more questions, feel free to DM us and whatever.
Yes, please. Like.
And Dinda, is there any last things you want to say to people? Is this abrupt? Is this an abrupt ending?
I don't know.
Or is it smooth?
I feel like it's quite smooth. I feel like because
I hope you guys think the same. Dinda, is there anything that you want to say to those people that are going through pre-season right now? What's your, I guess, encouragement for them before you sign off?
I feel like embrace your season. For me personally, like try to just be more aware and be present where you are, who you are, what you do. Because you're going to go into the next season later on, which we don't know yet. And it might not just about love. It's just like maybe you move jobs, you graduate from uni to another job. Like there's all these things, right? But I think one of the things that we can do is like to actually embrace and honor a season, like to actually recognize its value and
appreciate where you are.
Appreciate where we are.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just keep it up. Don't, like I said earlier, don't focus on things too far ahead. That's the goal at the end of the day. Don't rush there. Take your time because that's when you get better. You get better every day. And you be the best self or the best version of yourself when you get there. So keep it up. Well, that's today. It's a great topic.
If we actually continue this, it's gonna be hours of
hours
conversations,
of good stuff.
But
I also would like to say that it's not like Dinda and I haven't been in relationships before, so we know what that's like as well.
Yeah. Fun fact: we actually first kind of not talk, but I feel like the first time that I feel like ooh is when I
What do you mean ooh?
Like that. No, as in damn, this guy actually had dating app experiences before.
Okay. See, that's another topic that we can talk about.
Yeah, that's another topic because I'm very open with my dating app experience as a Christian girl, where it's just I've rarely have guy friends, especially when I moved to Perth. I don't really have many friends in the beginning.
Yeah, right.
But Jara was my first friend from the community church that actually was also on dating apps. So
it's very taboo.
Something to talk about next time, guys. If you have any questions,
definitely great topic to talk about.
Great topic.
We talked about it kind of before, but the experience then I would say with the people in that episode is different to now.
Yeah.
Because I think I had a friend there and I had Nick, but Nick's never been on the apps before. So he even said that he doesn't know what to add, and then the other person kind of just did that on a trip.
Okay.
So it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Crazy experiences. You can go back and watch that or listen to it. But I feel like this is a little bit more different because it's you actually go into it kind of thinking, I want to get something serious out of this.
Yeah.
So I think
it was an avenue to just putting myself out there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something else we're going to talk about next time. So tune in for that. For now, we're going to tune out. And it's always a pleasure having you guys with us, and a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Dinda. I was going to go Dinda again, but Dinda. It just rolls off better.
Oh my
gosh. Rolls off better. But thank you for coming in.
Of course.
She rebooked. She moved an appointment just to be here. I hope you guys are blessed that today's conversation has added value to you. And as much as I would like to always say, I don't know what I'm saying now, but I'm just going to say I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching.
Stay fresh.
And stay fresh. Yeah, that's it. She's like, we got to cut this off right now. All right. Peace. See you later. Bye.
See ya.